What's going on, guys? This is Jordan back for Norfolk Gaming, and welcome to the first, hopefully of many, if this all goes well, of my personal top 5, maybe 10 in the future lists of some kind. So anyway, we are here. This is going to be the new thing that's going to be starting on Saturdays, hopefully. And now that I've got the first one done, then the ones after it, I'll have a template for, so it will be okay. So let me know your opinions. If it goes alright, then I'll be very happy, and I want to know what you think. So, without further ado, welcome to my top 5 Kanto Pokemon that should Mega Evolve. Now, before I actually get into my list, these are my opinions, and, well, what I think might happen, what I want to happen, and what I predict might happen in the future in regards to Mega Evolution. The other thing is that I'm not very much of a competitive person, so I'm like don't take this in a way like competitive battling. I mean, don't take this in a way that don't have a go at me about the competitive battling side, because I'm not very much into that. And so yeah, well, actually, you guys now probably know what the next 5 top 5 lists are gonna be, so that's fun. But anyway, let's get into the list. So, starting off at number 5, we have Marowak. Marowak is probably one of my favorite Kanto Pokemon. I don't use it much. If you have watched my Pokemon Insurgents Let's Play, I do have one on my team at the minute, and I love using it. It's slow as hell, but I think Mega Evolution for it would be freaking awesome. So when it Mega Evolves, like, I've looked at a lot of fan designs, and I know in Insurgents that they have got a custom Mega Evolution for it in the game, where it actually becomes a ground and ghost type. So I think that would be freaking awesome, because I can just see it as this kind of necromancer, or however you want to pronounce that sort of Pokemon. And then because if you read its Pokedex entry about that and Cubone, about its mother dying and it wearing its mother's skull, like, I think if it became a ghost type and it became this sort of necromancer type thing, then because I've as you can see on your screen, I put that possibly Parental Bond might be a good ability for it, because then it could attack, and then it could sort of use its necromancy skills to help it, or to get its dead mother, sadly, to attack with it. I don't know. I feel like that might be a cool thing to happen. So yeah. At number 4 on my list, we have Dugong. Now, Dugong, I love it because it's just so silly, and it just makes me laugh every time I see it. But I feel overall it's a fairly forgettable Pokemon, and you don't really think about it that much. So I think if it got a Mega Evolution, then it might actually be used and seen around a lot more, and it might actually get some use, and it'd be awesome to see it because it's Dugong. Look at it. So I think when it Mega Evolves, it will keep its typing, and I think it will become a lot more physical. Like, and these designs, by the way, are just like what I found on the internet that like look pretty cool, and what I actually agree that they might look like. I think it should get Refrigerate, because it learns a lot of normal physical moves that I think would really benefit from it, and I can't really think of any other decent abilities that it could possibly have. So, like, Dugong learns things like Headbutt, Return, Fake Out would be pretty good, and it also gets Giga Impact. So that would be pretty good with Refrigerate. So yeah, that's number 4. Now at number 3, I kind of had a tie, because I couldn't just choose one of them. Now this is one of what I meant by what I predict might happen in the future. Like, based on what's already happened. So at number 3, we have a tie between Machamp and Golem. Now, Gengar and Alakazam, and Golem and Machamp are all the Kanto trade evolution Pokemon, so you had to trade to get them into their final evolution. So we've got Alakazam, we've got Gengar, but these two have yet to receive a Mega Evolution, so it's only fair that they get one, I believe. So, starting with Machamp, I feel like it could become... It seems quite reckless, as if you look at its Pokédex entry, it seems like, as it says, this Pokemon tends to leap into action before it thinks, so I feel if it Mega Evolved, then it becomes more focused, and that's why I decided to possibly make it a Psychic type, because that would really show in it. I don't know what benefit that might have. It might be better just having it Fighting type. Let me know what you think. I'm not really sure. But then the ability I think it should have, and I don't know why it doesn't, is probably Iron Fist, because it's got so many punching moves. I mean, egg move wise, it can learn all the elemental punches, and I think I don't know what other things are affected by Iron Fist, but I know it gets like Dynamic Punch, and it probably gets Dizzy Punch and Bullet Punch and things like that, so I feel like that might help. So then moving on to Golem, I feel like I've seen this design so many times and I think it looks awesome. It just stands out. Like I saw, I think in the Zeta and Omicron games, the design for Omega Steelix, which made it steel and fire. I just like that looked awesome, but sadly they didn't go with anything like that. But I feel I couldn't decide in my head whether to, because obviously with like this is going off this design, perfect, well pretty much only. So it would make it a fire type, but I wasn't sure whether to make it a rock or ground type. Rock would make more sense being Golem, but for like benefit wise it would definitely be better to have ground type, because if it was rock and fire it would have a lot more weaknesses, I checked by the way, than if it was ground and fire. So that, I think that might help. But then, so I think if it was rock and fire, definitely would have to give it levitate, because then you would just get rid of that quadfective weakness to ground, and then, well, and the same, well, it would still be a normal weakness if it was ground and fire. So I think that would be quite good to just help it out a bit. And I mean, you wouldn't be able to give it a air balloon anymore or anything like that, so that would be that. But my other idea for a possible ability, I know it's the name of a move, but a new ability called Incinerate, which would be, I know I've used this a lot already in this top 5, but the like a fire type version of like Pixelate, Aerialate, and Refrigerate, because that I feel like that would just fit, because Golem itself, if it was going to be a fire type, it doesn't get many fire type moves. The only fire type moves it gets are Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Incinerate, and they're all special, in Golem's a physical attacker, so what's the point? But the only physical one it gets is Fire Punch, so I feel that is just perfect, that sort of thing, just to actually make it want to be a fire type. So that's the two at number 3 on my list. At number 2 is, to be quite honest, I don't know why, but it is probably one of my favourite Pokemon ever. I've just loved it to pieces forever. I think it's adorable. So number 2 on my list is Butterfree. Now Butterfree is just adorable, and look at it. And I mean, this again is a prediction because Beedrill's got a Mega Evolution, so why have you left my dear little Butterfree out of this? I need it to have a Mega Evolution. So I was debating with myself when I was doing this, should it be, because it's bug flying, I knew in my mind that it shouldn't keep that type. It should definitely go either Bug Psychic, because of all the psychic moves it can learn, or Bug Fairy. But I think I just wasn't sure in my head, but I eventually went with Fairy just because I feel like it just seems like not dainty, that's kind of in a way bad way, but like I feel like it would be a fairy more. But the only problem is ability wise, well, Butterfree doesn't learn any fairy moves as of yet, so it could in the future possibly, you never know. And it's definitely a special attacker, we know that. and giving it Pixelate, it wouldn't really help it that much, because I think the only special normal moves it gets are Round and Hyper Beam, so it might not be the best. But I did have a different idea of giving it Prankster, because like Butterfree learns so many moves like Tailwind, Safeguard, like all the powders, Toxic, you can get things like that, and Rage Powder is another one that I feel. So if you made it really bulky, and then it would just be perfect for double battles, because I don't know, it just would just work. I feel in my head anyway. I'm probably just mental, but you know. Anyway, Butterfree is at number 2 this week. And finally, the number 1, the one you've all been waiting for. This, again, is one of, I want it to happen, but I think it will happen at some point. And number 1 is Raichu. Now, if you think of every generation, they've done something with Pikachu, because Pikachu's the mascot of Pokemon. It just is. So you got Pikachu in Gen 1, and then we got Pichu in Gen 2, Minun and Plusle in Gen 3, we got Pachirisu, and then Emolga, then we got Dedenne, and then we also got like cosplay Pikachu, and Pikachu actually getting its anime like the cry from the anime saying its name in 6th gen. So I feel possibly a 7th gen thing. This could be the Pikachu of 7th gen in a way, because no one really gives a damn about Raichu anymore. It's all about Pikachu or anything else. You don't really see Raichu that much, and I'm upset because I love Raichu. It's adorable. Look at this picture. You can't help it. You just like bat your eyes and like, oh my god, look at it. But like, why make another electric type with cheeks when you've got plenty? And you can just use this and make it a Mega Pokemon, because that would be awesome. So, Mega Raichu, in my opinion, would just definitely special attacking, of course. I don't think it should change type at all. Maybe I was considering, because looking at this design that I found, possibly flying, but I just thought that was stupid. And like afterwards, but I feel like it would just be awesome, because I don't know why exactly, but I feel it would get a really good ability. Like, I was either considering giving it Levitate because of those clouds like around its neck, so it could help it float a bit, or I thought of maybe some ability. I named it Grounded, which is the worst name in the world, I know, but just some ability so it can let electric type moves hit ground type Pokemon. Like, probably not super effectively, but it can at least hit them, and possibly even so it can hit them, but then it doesn't take super effective damage from it. But it still hits, but it doesn't do, like, it halves the damage sort of. I don't know what I'm really on about, but that, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know I'm not explaining myself very well, and I can't explain myself very well because I'm awful at that. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think. So yeah, Raichu is number 1. So that is the end of the list. Let me know your opinions of this. Anything you want me to improve upon in the next top 5 that I do. I love doing it, to be honest. I loved making all the stuff for it that I've already done. And let me know in the comments which Kanto Pokemon you want to Mega Evolve in the future. I know one thing I did consider adding, but I didn't, was stat changes and actually going into detail about competitive. But as I say, I'm not a competitive person, so I don't know where stats should go on certain Pokemon. I could look into it, but I don't do that sort of thing. So that's that. So anyway, if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.